I've been watching a couple of videos. I've been learning a couple of things. One thing I've learned that is if you want to create a bass, we can do what is called a filtered bass line. I'm going to play this track right here. Some of you have heard this beat before, and it goes like this. And ready, and go, and... But that right there, this is messing up my mic. But that right there, that's something that you haven't heard before. What I did is I made a filtered bass. Okay, and how did I make this filtered bass? I did it just like this. So I'm gonna stop this. I went back to sequence one, right? When I went to sequence one, I went to this. So I'm just gonna solo this right here. So I soloed the main sample, right? So then I went here, and this is my track. I went here and I bounced to sample. I bounced that track to sample. When I hit bounce to sample, then I went and I got a different type of sample. So check this out. We're going to go to sample. But if I flip, now keep going a bit. Let me go back this way. There's my bounce track right there. So this bounce track right there is. So then I went to my sequence 3 because I did everything in sequence 3. Here, what I did is I turned this into a filtered bass loop. So that was the sample, right? So after I bounced it to a sample, I added some things to it, okay? What I did to the sample, once I had it, I went to a pad mixer. Once I go to pad mixer, my sample is right there. I added inserts to this part right here. So if you click in here, you can see I added this filter here. I added a low pass filter to this sound. See? Once I got my filtered bass loop, all I did is I recorded it in. And that's when I got the sound just like this. So now the only thing about that is you notice there's something off about it. So let's do this. So I got the bounce track sample, right? But what I want to do now is it's not matching, it's not syncing up. So what I want to do, I'm going to time stretch this sample, okay? So I'm going to hit process, and there's the time stretch right there. And that's not what it should be. It should be a little faster, okay? All right, so we're gonna change it to just 43.5. All right, and then we're gonna say, do it, and let's see if this helps us out to get this thing to match here. All right, so let's see. All right, so that's a sample, and that's what you did. So you can filter your bass, and when you filter your bass, that's one way that you. It's an old school trick. It's an old school tip. Many of the older producers did it. They had their sample, and to get a bass, they would filter the bass, and then when the beat drops like this, when the beat drops like this, that's all they would do. So that's just one way to create a bass. All right, everybody. Peace. What's up, everybody? I want to thank you all for getting me to 607 subscribers. We're trying to get to the 1,000 mark before the year is over. Here, I'm coming back once again to talk about creating a filtered bass line. But I figured what I'll do now is I'll talk about how you can have more control over your bass line. So I'm going to go here to my sequence 3 where there's my filtered bass loop. And it sounds like this. To have a little more control over that bass, I want to chop this bass up. So we're going to chop the sample up right here. And in that process, when we chop the sample up, we'll give ourselves a little more freedom to like do drops, to, mute pads, do different things so that we can add more dynamics to our actual track, or our sequence, I should say. Normally, I would go ahead and I would just manually chop it myself. What I'm going to do this time is I think I'm going to go into regions. And what I want here is 16 regions. So let's check out how the 16 regions sound. So what I want to do right now is I want to go into my pad mixer. Okay. Here, I'm going to go here into programs. So now that I'm at programs, right here on the 11th pad, I have that actual program. So now that I'm at that actual program, and what I want to do is, you see here it says program 02. What I want to do is I want to add a global insert to all of those sounds. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to go down to my low pass filter. Thought I was hitting LP. So now I have my low pass filter. So now that I have my low pass filter, all right, but I actually want this frequency right here because it's straight bass. I want to go back to the mix, my new program 2. So what I want to do now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-record this entire thing. 1, 2, and ready, and go, and... But let's say I wanted to do a couple things. Let's say I wanted to mute some things, okay? I want to come here and I want to mute. Let's say we're going to go here and mute these things right here. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to make it a little more dynamic and add more dynamics to the track. Instead of there just being one bass line, instead of there just being one long loop, now I can add track mutes to my loop, well, now my chops. And if I do that, then I add more dynamics to that particular sequence. So this is a way that you can add more flavor to your actual track. You can filter your bass, chop up your filtered sounds, add effects to it if you need to. I could have made it, turn it into another loop, and then just chopped up the loops and then just made it another program. I added an effect to the global program, and once I did that, that's what we have right here. Yo, if y'all love what you getting here, you love this content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and join the community. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. And make sure you comment below. Tell me about some new things you want me to dive into and figure out. I'm learning this, baby. Y'all learn it with me, and we're going to make some dope tracks. Peace. What's up, everybody? It's Dayson once again. Thank y'all all for getting me to 650 subscribers. Check this out. We got this drum kit right here. So one of the problems I was having was when I bring in samples, maybe like this, I didn't know how to cut them off. You know, I am learning, trying to understand the product even more so that I can make better beats. One thing I was able to do is if I have this, I can immediately shut that sample off. So if I'm doing a drum beat like this, you're able to cut that sample off very fast, which is a good thing. All right. So why did this come up? Let me go here to this track right here. This is a track that I made with a sample that I got from the Chill Hop page on Instagram. So Chill Hop, they had a competition. They made a guitar sample, and with that guitar sample, you could chop it up and then compete against other producers around the world. So that sample kind of sounded like this. I took the sample and I chopped it up like this. How do I make this so that my samples aren't bleeding on each other? Because that's what was happening at first. But then I went and I did a search and I looked, I know from other drum machines, if you change another software company or hardware company, if you go down to Polyphony of 1, then all your samples won't bleed into each other or be layered on top of each other. So I realized that I had to come here to the global setting and change everything to mono. Once I was able to change everything to mono, then my samples no longer bled into each other. So you have the global setting here of mono. If you wanted to change it by, certain increments, you can change that as well. If you wanted to fine tune it, you could do it like that. So it's a way to globally tune the track and add different increments to it. So then I also noticed you have this section here where you can actually take a pad and you can cut another pad off. So say like if we leave this at Polyphony, Poly for global, and let's say we go back to that drum track. This drum track right here. When I came here, you got the level of the pad. Listen. You have the level of the pad. You can either pan if you want to, and you can have your mute group off. So you can actually mute certain sounds. So I have my hi-hat splash right here, and then I have my other hi-hats right here. What I wanted to happen is that when I played the drum track, I wanted the hi-hats to actually cut the other hi-hat off. To do that, I created a mute group. Right here we have a mute group, okay? So I have everything on mute group 1. These 3 pads are on mute group 1. Now, I'm fairly new to this. I have to learn more about it, but I see the general benefit of this is like if you wanted to trigger one note, one of your sounds on after a certain sound, or if you just wanted to cut it off. You can have simultaneous play where you can bring another pad in and you can have another target mute as well. But I wanted to globally go in, and when I went in, I was able to cut that one sample off when these other samples are playing. It made this easier. So So here's what I want to do. I'm just going to erase these and record them all over again. All right. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's go here and I'm going to go through all that. I'm going to go through all that. So now I'm going to re-record that. That's very loud, so let me go in and turn that down. Now, if you notice, it cuts it off, so when you're... So now I have the flexibility, or I can actually restrain it more than I normally would, and to make it sound or fit a certain way. Now, I'm going to change this, probably go back and make those sounds a little different, especially for trying to make this into a lo-fi track. But everybody, yeah, that's it. You can go into program edit. And once you go into program edit, you can globally, if you got a certain group of samples, you can set global polyphony or set it to mono, or you can change the polyphony on your own based upon how you want it. Now, polyphony just represents the amount of voices that a certain sound is going to have. 1 voice, 2 voice, 3 voice, or multiple voices. And then you can go into the pad section, and if you go into the pad section, if you have multiple things or multiple sounds on this group right here, or this program, you can actually make changes to different pad. Like if you wanted 2 pads to cut off, you can go here in this pad section here. Or if you wanted ones to simultaneously play together, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Any questions you have, I'll greatly appreciate it, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much. Peace. Here's the coup de grace. Here's the secret sauce. Here's the thing that you want to do to basically take all of your sequences and turn them into one sequence. What's up, everybody? I want to take you through song mode on the MPC Live 2. Now, this video won't be about the sample breakdown. This video will just be about how I go about using song mode to build the actual elements of the song. You watched the live video that I did. There was a beat I was working on, and I also put a little short out about it entitled We Shining, and it kind of sounds like this. Shout out to Not Square. He did the tag. One of the first things that I like to do, I like to build my track, my drums, my keyboards, my sample. If you understand song structure, then you don't have to know music theory. Learn music theory later, but understand song structure. Understand your chorus, understand your verse, understand your bridge, understand your intro, understand your vamp, understand the pre-chorus. If you understand these elements of a song, then you can change and move elements around like this. From the chorus, I built out an intro. So the intro kind of sounds like this. Then I have an intro part 2 because Rodney Jerkins said
every 4 to 8 bars, something has to happen. It's very important because I don't want to bore people.
He added the bass. But here's the first part of the intro right here, just a sample. That's my intro. After my intro, I have my verse.
Then I have my the other part of my verse where the drum beat changes a little bit. I begin pulling elements out. Some people, they'll go to the track mutes, and then they'll build their song through the track mutes. This is just a basic explanation. Building out your sequences, and once you build out your sequences, then you can go into song mode and just insert your different sequences. You can make changes on it later once you really listen to the song and see if you want to add or take away elements. Here's the coup de grace, here's the secret sauce, here's the thing that you want to do to basically take all of your sequences and turn them into one sequence, which in essence is a song. The pads over here are related to that. So if you hold menu and you hit that particular pad, then you'll get to that particular option or that feature. Right now, I just want to go to song mode. Look in song mode here. I kind of have everything already built out. You can see here that I have a number of each sequences. So if you look here, you can see that I have all the sequences laid out. Here's the intro, there's the parts of the intro, there's the verse, there's the chorus, there's the intro once again, then it goes back into the verse. But what you want to know is how you do that. So I'm going to give you a quick way on how you build your song. The way in which you build your song is like this. All right, so I'm going to start with a new program. All right, and I'm going to name this program. And this is going to be test, T-E-S-T, do it. So this is going to be a test here. I'm going to build everything out. Now, what you have here is all the sequences that you made. And down here, you can clear out a sequence. You can export everything once you do it. You can convert a sequence. You can delete and insert. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to touch a pad, and I'm going to touch my intro pad. And I want to touch 5. Once I'm on 5, I want 5 to be the one I'm going to insert. Click insert, and as you can see, it inserted. I'm going to hit insert one more time. Insert. What it did is it brought in another song, another sequence. So what I'm going to do with that sequence is I'm going to click here in the sequence section, because everything is laid out here. You have the number, the sequence, you have the loop, or the number of times you want to loop. You have the BPM, or the beats per measure, and the number of bars you want for that song. Everything is in this header right here. After I do that, I'm going to come tap here, and I'm going to turn it to the particular sequence that I want. I want intro 3 to be that sequence, or sequence 3 to be the next sequence. How many times do I want this sequence to play? I only want it to play one time. Then I'm going to come and I'm going to insert one more time. As you see, it doubled up. So what I want to do is I'm going to look at my sequences, and I see that my 4th sequence is the second part of the intro. So then I'm going to go grab that sequence there. So what am I trying to say? That basically the way that you build your song is by building your sequences. If you build out the entire chorus, then you start to take out parts. Maybe you take out your synths, you take out your drums, change the programs just to bring a different dynamic to that song. So once again, you hit insert, and as you can see, it brings up the last sequence that you put in. You just tap here, and what I want now is I want sequence 2. I want this to play 2 times because it's 2 bars, and I want it to be 4 bars. Then I'm going to hit insert again. So now I have an 8-bar verse. So I have an 8-bar verse. After my 8-bar verse, you can make it a 12-bar verse. That's all up to you. Remember, I said if you learn song structure, then in some cases you don't have to know music theory. You can do everything by ear. Now, I want the chorus to come after this. So I'm going to tap here, insert. And I want this to be the chorus. So I'm going to go to the chorus, which is my sequence 6. It's on the 6th pad. Then I'm going to go here, and I want this to be a 4 to 8 bar chorus. So since that's the case, 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. So it's going to be 8 bars for this chorus. After that, insert. So I know that the listener needs a little change up after the chorus. You got to take them down. It's like a roller coaster ride. You understand that you got to take the listener on a ride. And you know today's music is all about emotion. Now that I got the chorus here, I want to take them back to the intro. I know that listening to this, at some point I'm going to have to go back. And there's some elements I want to add to it. Maybe like a drum roll, do something different. You know, you just want to make it dynamic. Okay, I got my intro going. I'm going to insert one more time. Click here. And then I want to go back to the beat. So when I go back to the beat, I'm going to verse 2. Hit it again. Insert. Oh, I done did too many. See, here's the thing. Now I'm going to delete. So now you get to see me deleting because I didn't push everything up. Now I'm going to go here, verse 1. So that's the first verse but I have 2 parts to the verse just to bring some change. So as you can see, I just don't have the same beat playing over and over and over. I'm adding dynamics. And a lot of people would think, oh, I can't do that with the MPC, or I can't do that with the Maschine Plus, or I can't do that with the SP404. Yes, you can add dynamics to your songs. You can add different sequences that can basically add that power to your productions. And I kind of want the song to end close around this time. So I'm going to add another intro, and I want to add something a little different. I think I have something on sequence. I think I got a drop. I gotta go listen to it. Let me go to sequence 7. Ah, yes. So I got a drop. Menu, pad, we're back here. So here, which I should have done behind the chorus, is I really need to change this to that drop. So sequence 8 is the drop. So all the music drops out. It's just the sample, it's just the drums, and it's just the vocals. So after that, but normally, if we were doing a 3-verse song, I would probably do that. Or you wanted to bring that emphasis back into the song. Chorus, drop, verse. Then we want the chorus again. Oh, going too high. 6 is the chorus. 6 is the chorus. From the chorus, then I'm going to insert here. I want the song to end. We're going to do the drop again. Then I'm going to insert one more. So we got the verse, chorus, drop, and I'm going to change that to 1 time. We got this verse. I want that to go 1 time. As you see, I'm changing how the sequence hits. Well, actually, I want the verse to go, 1 time, 2 times. I'm sorry. The drop to go 1 time and go back into that. And then I'm going to insert right here. And as you can see, that push that down. And then what I want to do is change that to 2. What I'm doing now is I'm just laying out the sequence and laying out how I want it to sound. So then I'm going to go back into the chorus, back into the drop, and then the last one, instead of the drop, now I want the song to end with the intro. So actually, let's do a recap. What are we saying to do? We're saying to build out your song. Build out the entire chorus. After you build out the chorus, then start substituting. Add some elements, do some things, addition and subtraction based upon what you think the listener is going to hear or wants to hear. Build out the different sequences, add and subtract. After you add and subtract, then you can go in and you can insert each sequence. You can change the sequences and you can change the duration of the loop. After you change the duration of the loop, boom, you got a song.
One of the things that I struggle with a lot in the MPC is time stretching. And I'm pretty sure if I struggle with it, you struggle with it too. But I do have some tips and some workarounds that I use. I'm working on the track right now, and I use Golden Comps, which is on 16levels.com. So if you go to 16levels.com, you'll get this dope sample pack, 16levels.com. Make sure you check it out. What I've done so far is I've loaded in drums, and as you can see, I labeled everything. So now my drums are labeled. So my drums sound like this. Now, if I go to the source, and I go look here, my drums, if I go to the drums, my drums are 78. That's a BPM of 78 beats per minute. The actual sample that I'm going to use has 74 beats per minute. Now, if I was to play that, which I've already loaded them in, I'm going to load this one in. I'm going to record this is what I really mean. I need the sample to time stretch with the drums. In order to do that, I'm going to go here, go to my sample, and I'm going to hit process. Once I hit process, I'm going to scroll over to time stretching. Alright, so I'm here at time stretching. Now, you notice right here it says 20. I don't know why it does this, but what we want to do is we want to make sure we take it back because it's like 4 beats per measure. It's 4 beats per measure. Really, it's 2 beats per measure. So the part of the sample that I really want to use, I want to make sure that I time stretch it correctly. In order to do that, I need to know the BPM or of that particular bar that I'm going to use to time stretch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're going to go with 2 beats per measure. So when I go back in here and I process and I time stretch, I'm going to take this to 2 beats. Then after I take this to 2 beats, I'm going to make this, the current tempo is 74. That's the current tempo. What do I want to take it to? I want to take it to 78. All right, so I want it to be at 78%, all right? Then I hit do it. Give it a minute to process. All right, so now let's see how our sample sounds. So let's see. Now you see we have a perfectly time stretched sample, and it actually matches. So that's one way you can time stretch your sample. You got to make sure you have the right BPM and set the bars correctly. Once you set the beats per measure correctly and you set the time, because you want it as close to your sample as the original tempo of the sample, and then you want to set it to the tempo that you want to use for your particular beat. So some people like to warp after they do that. I hold the menu down, I hit pad 14. After I went to pad 14, I went from global to sample. And as you see, I come here and I can tap warp just like that. So now, so if I was to go up, see the sample goes up. Now the drums didn't go up because I didn't do that to the drums. So if I come back to my drums, put this back at 78. If I come back to my drums, same thing, hold down your menu button, pad 14, and here I am at my drums, and I hit warp. Now if I was to go up in tempo, but let's say you don't have the actual BPM on the sample. What would you do? So let me go look for a sample that does not have a BPM associated with it. Go to third-party samples. We're going to find a sample, preferably one that does not have BPMs on it. Let's go to Beat Butcher. Yep, Beat Butcher's one. We go to the Filth 4. We go to Musical Chops. And as you can see, he has a lot of musical chops, and there's no BPM associated with the musical chops. When I have situations like this is where I use tempo matching, and then I time stretch after I tempo match. What I first have to do is I have to find the tempo of the sample. Once you have your sample, what you can do is you kind of tap tempo the sample. Here's the sample. I'm going to go to a new track, not drums. Go to unused, new program, and basically I'm going to load the sample here. So this sample right here, bass licks 1, I'm going to load this right here. Load. Now we have I want to tap out the tempo. So I'm going to do it as follows. Alright, so this says it's about 63. So I'm going to scroll forward up to 63. Some people may have a different tip. They may do it a different way. Comment down below and let us know what tips you have for time stretching. Close. And I'm going to go here and shift. Let's see. Might be a little too fast. 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. What's up, everybody? It's Dayson Civil of Civil Days Music. Just wanted to cut in for a moment. Wanted to talk to my people. Want to tell y'all, let's. This is a compilation video of some of the music production videos that I've done, and we're just walking through some of that as well. I did notice that there was like a doubling or echo or something like that, so I'm getting ready to work on that real quick. But make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of things going on. This has been a very eventful summer. Especially with having 2 daughters going to college and things of that nature, and trying to, get back into this, and as well as, trying to, produce and stuff like that. So just going in and just thank y'all for supporting me. You know what I mean? Especially over the years, y'all got me to 3,600 subscribers. I'm so close to monetization, and I just want to thank y'all for all the things that y'all do to help a brother. I really appreciate it. So if you give me a second, I can go in here and fix a couple things, and then we'll get back into the program. Definitely get back into the program. I don't know why there's a doubling of anything, but
on what it feels like to obtain true time freedom.
All right. Let's kind of get back into it. Let's see if there are any comments. What's up, Blatantly? Let me get shout outs to my people. What's up, Blatantly? Thank you for coming and watching. What's up, Najee? What's good, man? He said, what's good? Hope all is well. We appreciate you and your knowledge. Thank you, man. I don't know everything, but I try to share what I got. So I'm thankful for everybody that comes and watches and things up. I would say I want to give a shout out to my man, Khalif. He kind of spearheaded the idea, social marketing genius. He's a social marketing genius. He don't use Chat GPT or none of that stuff. Khalif wins. You'll see him commenting in the bottom. Make sure you go check him out. Check out his page. Check out a lot of the content he has. He talks about more than just music. He talks about life. He talks about, things that kind of help people and individuals and things of that nature. Make sure y'all been checking out the other videos. I thank y'all so much for all you've been doing so far. And we're going to try to get back into it. I must have something playing somewhere else that I'm going to figure out what is going on. And we're getting ready to get back into this video right about now. So give me a minute to just make sure nothing else is playing. This is like our intermission, you know what I'm saying? This is where I promote my products and stuff like that. Y'all, there's going to be so much coming out when it comes to, Civil Days music. Not only that, I done started BeatStars. I got my BeatStars channel. We're going to try to sell beats. Not only that, we're into cyber. Of course, I've started my cybersecurity page and things of that nature. My goal is always this is what I do for a living. I teach for a living. So I always like to help people and help people get to the next level. I want to shout out Jones Sounds. He took one of the videos and he made a beat out of it. He turned it into a trap beat, and he shouted me out on it. So I'm happy about that. So let's go ahead and get back into this. And I think I got it figured out, everybody. You're shutting down all these other programs that may be running back in the background, especially when it comes to the Twitch. Making sure that Twitch and Discord are not displaying. All right, let's get to it. Probably about 64 beats per measure.
tell you, boy, I tell you, you're trying to do something. There's always something that's going to try to come along and mess it up. But we're gonna fix that right now. People be talking about LL, talk about his comeback, talking about his song ain't. I'm sorry, I'm a LL Cool J fan. That song is hot. That is a hot song. So let's get back into this and fix this and pull this back up. There's always going to be technical difficulties, but we always going to weather the storm. You know what I'm saying? We're always going to weather the storm, no matter what. Shut some of this stuff down. Y'all, my people, thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being with me. I truly appreciate everything that you are doing. All right. Getting this stuff back up and running. We almost got it. Almost got it, baby. Almost got it.
So what we want to do right here, put this on 78.
Back in it, baby.
Look at that.
Don't nothing stop the
We
show.
got it. All right, so now we got everything matching. Since we have everything matching, let's go back. Get these drums. And that's how you beat match or tempo match and time stretch. What kind of makes the time stretching easier. You got to experiment it, you got to play with it, and make sure that that it works in your favor. I was getting ready to say pause, I couldn't help it. And make sure it works in your favor, okay? But experiment with this. If this brought you value, this helped you, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell notifications when we have more videos coming back. We got more tutorials coming. At the same time, if you want to learn more about the Akai MPC, make sure you check this video right here. Check this video right here. You know you want to do it. Come on now. You know you want to do it. All right. Everybody, y'all have a great one. Peace.
So that's how the sample sounds without the flex beat on it. But then when you add flex beat to it, there's just so many different things you can do with it and so much fun that you can actually have. And I know you've seen so many videos about the flex beat player, but I want you to look at it in a different way. Yes, it's a production tool, but it's also a sound design tool. You know, I think this is great for sound design. FlexBeat, when they first came out with it, the MPC software app, an effects VST basically. Everybody asked for it. Everybody was like, come on, come on, come on, come on. We need this on the standalone devices. We need this on the standalone devices. And last week, like, we getting early Christmas presents and things of that nature. It's available in VST as well as the MPC standalone and plugins, you know, audio units as well. 16 performance pads for pattern presets, pad play modes for loop, one shot, and hold behavior. Pads are MIDI controllable using MIDI sidechain inputs. You got preset banks for instant inspiration, the ability to launch quantized patterns, so on and so forth. A large library of pad presets, detailed pattern editor with snap, adjustable curve, types, and envelopes and things of that nature, as well as you got the exports or import pattern presets in the .fnv format or compatible with Grossbeat, and you have a dry wet mix, dry wet knob on there. And some of the features are not available in standalone that are available in the software version. And this is kind of what it looks like when we were referring to, you know, you have your dry wet right here. You can quantize, you can choose different patterns. It's got like 5 different banks of patterns, but multiple sounds. Well, we got flex beat, solo to sample. I'm just going to turn that off. Leave the high pass filter on. Maybe hard to see. Give me a second. I'm going to bring it a little closer. So that's how the sample sounds without the flex beat on it. But then when you add flex beat to it, there's just so many different things you can do with it and so much fun that you can actually have with making your tracks. So if I pull the flex beat player up, this is actually what it looks like. And I know you've seen so many videos about the flex beat player, but I want you to look at it in a different way. Yes, it's a production tool, but it's also a sound design tool, you know. So like if you're making samples and things of that nature, then what you can do is you can add different effects to the samples. You can have multiple types of samples. You can have one without an effect on it, one sample with an effect on it, the next sample with an effect on it, or multiple different effects. And if you go to the edit mode, you can change up some things. You know, you can have your loop, your one shot, your hold. You can actually select here and choose a different, you can select here and choose a plethora of different effects, and with those different effects you can change the dynamics of your song. Oh yeah, I just updated my pack. It's a free kit, and it's related to the things you didn't know about music series. So let me just show it to you. Let me go here and show it to you. I'll go to Gumroad right here. We go to products. See if we're in products right here. I just updated this right here. It's free drums in here. Things you didn't know about music. We'll go to the content. If you look here, you got samples here. You don't even have to worry about these because they're in this download right here. Go ahead, download that, put your email address, all that stuff in there, and get that free pack. But don't forget about right here, we got the Gorilla Instruments, bass and keys. So I'm just going to run through some of the effects with this sample that I have here. And I'm thinking about the unlimited possibilities of having multiple sequences and having multiple sequences with different effects on them. And with those different effects, you can just add so many different dynamics to your song. All right. If that's not loud enough, I'll turn it up a little more. Make sure you check out my sample packs on Gumroad. I always have the link in the description. I got the Bon Appetit kit. I also got a kit that's for the SP404. You can also use with the MPC. I'm about to make that for the MPC. It's got basses. Not only does it have bass samples, it has keys samples. And there's always kind of drums out there. I don't care what nobody say. My drums are fire. So go out there and get my stuff and add that to your samples, y'all. Make sure y'all get that stuff. The links are in the description. Check that stuff out, y'all. So this is just the initial screen right here. And with the initial screen, you have different presets. But let's say you wanted to change those presets. All you have to do is hit here and then select here. And then you can scroll through the list of different presets that are here to change it to a preset that you want. And if I tap up here at the top, if I switch through, you have turntablist. That's actually where I got the initial sample from, turntablist. Now let me say this. I got kind of a staccato sample, but let's just say I did a keyboard riff or anything like that, then this will probably come out a little different. So that was turntablist, and then you have not your gated effects. Usually the first tab is the one that's going to, or the first effect is going to be the one that actually is like an empty pad. Now, if you move to the other pads, so that was gate. And now I'm going to go on to stutter. I'm going to see what's up with the stutter. Empty. Now I move the pattern, because there's a number of different stutter effects that you have there. But when I come to the different patterns, here's some patterns here. Now, the other thing about that is if you want these, I'm in the edit mode right now, but if you wanted to change those effects to one shots, you can change them to one shots. Then if you went into performance mode, when you're working with your sample, see how it jumps back to the other sample? See, that's cool right there. And then another one that we have here is like a halftime effect, where if we come, I believe this is the one, the bonus. That's more of a DJ. Let's see. Now you got the halftime effect. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to, you know what, I want to do the halftime effect. Let's check out how this beat sounds like that. That's it right there, everybody. That was, the halftime. Not using halftime with the flex beat player. It kind of has that gross beat feel to it and a halftime feel to it as well. And you could just do a lot with it. I think this is a great addition to the lineup. Kind of makes this bad boy a beast again. You know what I mean? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions, any things that you want to talk about, any things you want me to discuss, a tutorial you want me to make. Thank you for everyone that supported me and got me this far. Make sure you go to my series, Things You Didn't Know About Music. We got more stuff coming out. Also, make sure you check out make sure you check out not just things, all the tutorials and things of that nature, all the stuff that I have. Join, help me to get to this monetization goal. We on the road to monetization. I'm like at 1677, something like that, towards monetization, and I'm trying to either get to 3,000 or 4,000. 4,000 is the goal. But I thank y'all. Hopefully, I've given you information to help y'all because I'm a person of service. I like to help people. I like to bless people.
MPC Live 2 versus Maschine Plus. You wanted to know? Let's go. Well, guys, a lot of people always asking me which is better, the Maschine Plus or the MPC Live 2. First of all, they're two different devices. And with them being two different devices, even though they do the same thing, each one of them has their own special functionality. First, there's a big argument that everyone's talking about that MPC should have an arranger. An arranger. I need an arranger. I need an arranger. They look at the Maschine Plus and they see the arranger on the Maschine Plus, and then they say, I want that same type of arranger. When you look at the Maschine Plus, you have to get your sound selection together. After that, you have to create patterns. Once you create patterns, you can go into ideas mode. In ideas mode, you can make a number of different selections. You have a number of different patterns you can make. You can make different drum patterns. You can make different guitar patterns. You can make different synth patterns and things of that nature, then mesh them all together in the ideas mode. In ideas mode, you can really try out how you want your song to be, especially if you understand song structure. You can come up with your intro, your verse, your chorus, your bridge, everything that you need to make a full and complete song. What's up, everybody? I noticed that most of y'all that watch this channel are not subscribed. It says about 85% of you are not subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you subscribe so that we can give you that dope content that you love. Content about music production, content about music in general, and about life. Thank you so much and support the movement. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that you can work linear inside the Maschine Plus. We really don't work linear. We work from a pattern-based method. In my opinion, it kind of copies the workflow of Ableton and how you make beats inside Ableton. Ableton, you can start with your patterns, and from your patterns, then you can go to a linear format. Maschine Plus, similar, but does it different. What the Maschine Plus does is you make your ideas, then you create scenes. You create your intro, your chorus, and your verse, and then you structure your scenes. But all of this is in a pattern-based format, even though you may lay your song out and it may appear to be linear. It is similar to the MPC song mode. People are steadily asking for an arranger inside the MPC Live 2, but I want to tell you, you have an arranger. It's song mode. Song mode is the arranger for the MPC Live 2. You do not need an arranger. Now, if you visually want to look at it and you want to do things of that nature, they've given you the option to get Ableton, or guess what? You can use the software. And if you use the software, then you can look at it in a linear format. It also has it on the screen that if you hit the screen, the second option, you can look at all the MIDI data and see it in a linear format. It's the same in the Maschine Plus. You do the same exact thing. So in this instance, you really don't need an arranger because you have an arranger. Now, if you want some visualized reference, then that's something different. But just as you arrange your songs in song mode on the MPC Live 2, 2, you do the same exact thing in the Maschine Plus. So the arranger, let's dead that. You don't need an arranger. You just need to understand song structure. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a Maschine Plus owner. And with being a Maschine Plus owner, I know how to put my songs in really fast. You can either tap your scenes in or you can insert your scenes. Just like in the MPC Live 2, you can either insert your sequences or you can tap the sequences in and you can do your track mutes on the fly. There's neither one better than the other when it comes to the arranger. They're just two different devices. Stay tuned for the next video because the next video is going to focus on some other things that will help you make your decision if you want a Maschine Plus or the MPC Live 2. If you like this video and you want to learn more about how to use the song mode feature in the MPC Live 2, make sure you watch this video right here. So with this particular track, I have a number of tracks. I have 1, 2, 3, and 3. Well, actually 3 tracks. With those 3 tracks, what I did is I made one sample track. Those are drums. So I downloaded this sample pack. When I downloaded this sample pack, this was the sample I actually went for. With that particular sample, before I did anything to it, like add effects or anything like that, well, I actually chopped the sample up. When I chopped the sample up, I figured the way that I wanted to play the sample, which in turn, I kind of did this. How did I do that? I went right here in the track. But you have something here that says bounce to sample right there. When I bounced at the sample, then I came out with another sample right here, this track right here. I came out with this sample. It was all on one pad. I took the sample from the first program, bounced it to an audio file, or really a sample, and then I chopped it up. After I chopped it up, I went into mix and came here, and then I added all of my filters. I added a low pass filter. I added a limiter so that I could bring the sound up. I put a para EQ on it. After the para EQ, I added a maximizer, and I saved my effects chain. And after saving my effects chain, that's when, I took it a step further. So I bounced all of this to another, basically another drum program. So that was the sample. Bounced it to a drum program, and then I chopped it up, and then made sure I added all those effects to it, the low pass filter. And one person question was, well, why do you do that? If I wanted to do mutes and do different things with the sample, I could do that as far as the bass is concerned. So this is how my drums sound. That's it for right now, because this is just a sketch. This sample pack, the drums, the kit, the drums actually come from Bolo. These are Bolo's drums. So these are Bolo's drums. This comes from his X Factor kit. This is Bolo drums. Bolo? Yep, they're really good. They do sound really good. One track has a high pass filter, the other track has a low pass filter, and all I wanted to do is just make a quick bass line. You're just trying to take out all the highs so that you'll have a deeper bass. And then sometimes you may need to add effects to make it sound a little lower. So if I was to play that second track by itself, didn't come out the way I wanted, but it still filtered out the highs.
So it adds a different dynamic to the track. So that's kind of what I did to filter bass, you know, and I hope that answers the questions when they say, you know, I got lost. That step was first, get your sample, chop your sample, record your sample. After you record your sample, you want to bounce the track to a sample. After I bounced the track to a sample, I created a new program. After I created a new program, I chopped the sample. After I chopped the sample the way I wanted to, went to my mix tab and I added effects. A little hard to see, but I added a low pass filter, the air limiter. I add a para EQ and I add the air maximizer just to give it a little bit of, you know, make it louder. But then in the mix, I turned everything down because I didn't want it to fight with the 808 drums. Bolo, yeah, Bolo, his X Factor kit, real dope kit. I went back to track 1. As you can hear, this is track 1 right here. I'm gonna solo it. Kind of low. Kind of hard to hear, right? You know, I added a high pass filter to it. So if I go here to the mix, so I added my high pass filter. So that was to answer the gentleman's question. So yeah, so that was that. That's a quick way to filter bass. We are going to take this sample and turn it into this. And make that the main focus of the entire song. Let's get into it. What we did with that sample right there, what we did is we took that drum fill, and after that drum fill, I made it into a percussive sample. I added the air filter, I added the air limiter, I added the EQ to it, as well as I added Air Flavor Pro. And that's how I was able to get... I didn't do much to it. I just did a very low pass on the air filter. You know, I made it snappy for my air limiter, for my EQ. I did the hi-fi EQ. All of these were presets. And then I just put the Air Flavor Pro on there, and I'm using the Akai ST1. I said, you know what? I need a sample. So since I need a sample, what I did is I went to a cymatics pack, and I got this sample right here. I could keep going, but I wanted certain parts of it. So, you know me, I don't play things like it normally is. So for my sample loop, this is what I did. Like that. The sample loop actually sounds like this. So then I said, you know what? I need some drums. So I went and I got these sounds. Because I didn't know if I was going to go trap or if I was going to go hip hop. But then I said, you know what? I always use somebody else's kits. Why don't I use mine? I went to the Bon Appetit kit. And with the Bon Appetit kit, which you can get on Gumroad, you can go to Gumroad and purchase the Bon Appetit kit. And I got these drums. So what I decided to do is go for more of a R&B-ish, neo-soul-ish, eclectic hip-hop sound. I got the percussion in the background, which starts off like this. And then I got my sample that I made like this. That's what I did with that bad boy right there. And then you get something similar to this. Now I'm going to go ahead and mute the drums. Take solo off. I'm going to mute the drums. We're going to mute the bass. And we're going to mute the synth. Now let's get into it. So it sounds like this. Well, wait a minute. So now with the drums, this is what we got, because I did. Yeah.
said it sounds empty. So you know what I had to do? I had to put a bass in there. So initially I tried to sample a bass, and I tried to sample the sound, but I got to learn the gating. So I wasn't able to gate it yet. I said, you know what? Let me play with this bass for a minute. And this bass right here is from the bassline patches that are in here, the bassline VSTs and sounds and things of that nature that are inside the MPC Live 2. All this is inside the MPC Live 2. So this is the sine octave. I grabbed my keyboard. I grabbed this keyboard right here. This is the Novation launch key. With this being the Novation launch key, what I decided to do is play the bass line. And going with the melody, I played these notes here. That's all you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear boom. That's what you're gonna hear right there. And it sounds just like this. How did I get that where it blends into each other? You know, that little glissando or something like that. All I did was play one more time. So that leads into the track and it sounds like this. But I said, how can I add the chorus out and make it a bit more chorusy? So I added the plugin, and this plugin is your tube synth. And this is the Velo Zing, and it sounds like this. It's very low, so it's hard to hear. And it sounds like this. So we got and now it sounds like this. But we have a problem. It's too bassy. There's bass. I'm mixing here as well. I got asked the question, can you mix in here? Yes, you can. Some people prefer not to, but I mix right inside the MPC Live 2. Now watch what I'm about to do. So I'm going back to my main sample. Track 1 has the main sample, sounds like this. There's a lot of bass in that. So what I did is I already bounced at the sample. Now one thing you could have done is you could have come here, and it says copy track. Now you could have copied that track and turn it into a totally different track. Now what I did is I bounced it to samples. I'm gonna go here to a whole new track, an unused track, and then I'm gonna go back here to the program. And now that I'm in program, this is an unused program, as you can see. So now I'm gonna go into this program, but I wanna hit twice, and I wanna go into I'm gonna browse my samples, go to sample assign. I'm just gonna go through until I'm gonna go through until I find the sample I'm looking for. And there it is right there. Sure, it takes so long. There it is. So what are we gonna do now? I'm gonna go in here, my inserts, and I'm gonna add a high pass filter. We're gonna get a high pass filter. And then I wanna go back and I wanna solo the track. Solo. Get my high pass filter. Yeah. Taking out some of the bass, not all of it. Then I'm gonna go back to track 1. Let's go to track 1, because this is where the main sample is at. I got the air lo-fi effect on there. With the air lo-fi effect, I'm gonna pull more of the effects out. I was watching a video, forgot the producer's name, and he was saying that if you bring in the air lo-fi, what you do is you turn down the pre of the anti-alias, you turn down the pre and turn down the post, and then turn it on. Then you come to sample rate, and you pull the sample rate down. See, now you got more of a bassy. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the next track, track 8, and we're gonna just add this in. And we're just gonna add that in just like that. This is the coup de grace here. Watch this. So now, like this video, make sure you support this video. Go to Gumroad, check me out there. All the things I got going on, I guarantee you're gonna like the sounds and things I have. If you like this video, make sure you watch this video right here, because I got some more tips and tricks for you. I guarantee you it's gonna help you out. Grab the Bon Appetit kit, look for the Gorilla kit, the Gorilla Instruments kit as well. We got some dope sounds. We got more videos and tutorials coming for you. Thank you so much for chilling with me. Thank you all. Peace. It is what it is. I don't know how you do it, but this is how I do it.
those were my videos. So thank y'all all for coming out and watching. You know, I truly appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you've done. Everybody, y'all have a good one. And give me 1 second, let me turn all this on. Have a good one, and I say peace to everybody. Peace. There's more to come. More to come.